What's going on, guys? Today's video is going to be pretty cool. I'm going to be installing this BodyArmor4x4 tent on the Tacoma. So this video is just going to be the install of the actual rooftop tent onto my truck. I'll be doing a full overview and eventually a review video in the future, so stick around for those. In addition, I'm going to be doing a full step-by-step install and overview on trailtacoma.com, so go check them out. Go look for those articles because they're going to be super helpful. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get right into the install. The first step is going to be to actually open the tent on the ground here and get all the stuff out of the inside. So what's going to be inside is like the ladder, the mounting rails, and the cover, and the nuts and bolts you're going to need to mount it up to the truck. So to open this up, I'm just going to lay it on its side, and then there are 6 of these Velcro looped straps, 2 on the sides and then 2 on the front as well. So just undo those once you have it laid over and you can unfold the whole thing. Alright, so there's the tent completely open. Well, not completely, it doesn't have all the side rain flies open, but yeah, I flipped up the rain tent and the door flap, and then you just kind of come in here and unzip the door, and again you can flip that up and you should see all the stuff you need that's inside. I know it's kind of dark in there, you can't really see, but I'll start pulling stuff out. There's the ladder, the rails, and like I said, the cover and the hardware and whatnot. Alright, so this is everything that comes inside the tent. From left to right here, you have the ladder, some bungee cords that I'm not sure what their purpose is yet. Then you have the hardware, the instructions, the rails to install it to your bed rack, the stakes to open up the rain flies, and then of course the cover to keep it covered while you're driving. Okay, so for the next step, I pretty much need to close the tent kind of loosely so I can still access the inside, and that's so I can install these tracks here. Basically, I'm going to need to reach my arm inside to shove a bolt through and then tighten it down onto the track on the outside. So once you have the tracks installed, the next step is actually going to be to install the ladder onto the tent. I'm going to hold off on that step for now because I want to see if my truck is still going to be able to fit into the garage with the tent on. It's going to be really close and I don't think it'll fit with the ladder for sure, but it might fit without. So I'm going to hold off on that step for now and see if I can fit it in.
That's what she said.
So this is all of the hardware that comes with the tent. We're going to be using these smaller bolts to attach the tracks to the actual tent. And then these guys are for attaching the ladder to the tent. And then those are for attaching the whole tent to the bed rack. Alright, so I have the tracks mounted on the bottom of the tent. It's a little bit hard to do with one person to like line up the holes and keep the bolts in the holes while still trying to line up the tracks and the nuts inside the tracks. So it's a little tough, but not too bad. You just kind of got to work around it and should be good to go. So now the next step would be to mount the ladder onto the top of the tent using the same process. You just bolt the brackets on and then bolt the ladder down to the brackets. Like I said, I'm going to hold off on that for now to see if when I mount the tent onto the BodyArmor 4x4 rack, if I have enough room for the truck to still fit into the garage. So the next step for me is going to be putting the tent on top of the BodyArmor 4x4 bed rack and seeing if it'll fit into the garage. Alright, so I have the tent all buttoned back up. It has the tracks on the bottom and it's ready to go on the truck. Only problem is I'm the only one here right now, so I'm going to try to get it up on the truck myself. It's not that heavy, it's only 110-ish pounds, but it's just really big, so it's kind of awkward to handle. So I think what I can do is kind of lean it up against the bed of the truck, lift it up, and then I'll put a blanket over the rails and kind of just try to slide it up and on top of the bed rack. I don't know if it'll work, we'll see. If not, I'll just wait until I can get someone over here to help me lift it up. Hopefully still tonight, but I'm gonna go ahead and try it and see what happens. Alright, so that was actually a lot easier than I thought it would be. Wasn't too bad. Like I said, it's not that heavy, it's just kind of big and awkward. So once I was able to slide it up onto the bed and then could kind of just angle it up and slide it onto the rack. So BodyArmor 4x4 bed rack made that really easy to do. So the next step is going to be to actually bolt the tent down to the bed rack. And I think what I really just need to do is slide these guys into the tracks on the tent and then slide the bolt through the bed rack. I don't think I need these guys for the install with the BodyArmor 4x4 bed rack, but we'll see. I think I can just use the bolts. So I just realized that I'm actually going to need to flip this around so that it will open towards the driver's side, and that's because I have the Plano case on this side, which is mounted in pretty securely, and I don't want to have to undo it, but I want to put this awning up on the Prinsu rack. So if I put it on the Prinsu rack, it's not, it's going to interfere with the tent trying to open this way. So I'm going to go ahead and spin this around so that it's going to open on the driver's side, and then I'll bolt it all down. Okay, so I have all 8 of the bolts through and into the tracks on the tent. So now I just need to bolt it down. I pushed it as far to the left in the slots as it would go, as you can kind of see there, more so on this side. so that way I'll have as much room as possible to get the awning mounted up on this side. So yeah, I'm just gonna bolt this down and throw the cover on and should be good to go. Alright, so the tent is completely bolted down to the truck. I don't know if it's going to fit in the garage. The Plano case up there just barely fits, and the tent seems to be about an inch, maybe an inch and a half taller. So I don't think it's going to fit. Pause the video, drop a comment below, tell me if you think it's going to fit, and I'll try to fit it in right now and see if it works. Alright, so as you can see, I'm in my empty garage because the truck did not fit with the rooftop tent on the bed rack. I was hoping it would fit, kind of so I could put like a hoist up on the ceiling and easily take on and off the tent, so I don't have to drive around with it all the time, but that's not going to happen. So I guess what I'm just going to do is manually manhandle it on and off between trips and whenever I want it on. So it'll probably be on for at least the next month or so. I got a couple events and stuff coming up. But yeah, so it didn't fit. If you thought it would, sorry. I even tried taking off the weather stripping and giving myself an extra ½ inch, and for some reason that still didn't help. So yeah, I'm out of luck there. Okay, so it's a couple days later. I kind of got rained out the other day and it was getting dark and started raining. So I just threw the cover on. I still have not installed the ladder. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the cover off and then install the ladder and show you how to install the cover as well. Alright, so here's the cover hanging off the truck. Essentially there's like this little bendy tube that kind of goes in the slots all the way around. On one side it's attached to the cover itself, and you attach that to the side that it unfolds on, so this side. And then for the rest, there's the zipper part, which is basically the same thing, a little tube that slides in there. And this one goes around the other three sides, and that's how you zip up the cover on top. Okay, so the ladder brackets are loosely installed. Essentially you just put the 2 bolts through the holes, and then on the inside you have your 2 nuts locking it down. So I just need to tighten these down and then I'll go ahead and put the ladder on. Alright guys, there you have it. That's the install of the BodyArmor 4x4 Skyridge Series tent. Pretty simple install, pretty straightforward, not too difficult. I think anyone can do it. It might help if you have someone else to help you lift it up there and, you know, get the nuts and bolts all tightened down, but overall not too bad. As always, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below. Hit that subscribe button so you know when the new videos are coming out. I'm going to be doing an overview and review video of this tent pretty soon. So make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell so you know when the new video is out. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in the next one.